guys, how's it going? So I had a little bit of a different idea for this video today, and I thought maybe you guys would like to see more of what it's like behind the scenes while I'm filming these YouTube videos. I kind of wanted the feel of it to all be a little bit less formal and a little bit less filtered, which kind of explains why I didn't do a whole lot with my hair today. You'll have to excuse me. Basically, I'm just planning to do a deep clean of one of my goldfish aquariums today. Just wanted to throw a couple disclaimers out there so that we're all on the same page. What is making this tank so dirty is algae, but algae is not harmful to a tank in any way. In fact, it's actually healthy for a tank. There's no real negative to having algae in a tank other than it's aesthetically not pleasing. So I still want to give it a good deep clean and scrub as much of that algae off as I can. And hopefully it'll be pretty satisfying to watch a tank go from like pretty green and pretty full of algae to really clean and nice. The only other thing I would like to talk about really quick, just because I do still get comments about it sometimes, is yes, my goldfish are in separate tanks right now. That is because of a bullying issue. My bigger goldfish Manfred was really bullying my smaller goldfish Pie to the point where it was kind of unhealthy, so I had to separate them. Most of you guys know that I'm not actually the one taking care of my goldfish right now. I mean, I am like right now because I'm home right now, but I'm going away to school for another year. But when I'm done with school and I resume care of my goldfish full time, then I can re-look at their living situation and see if I can maybe work something out where they could be together or be with other fish and not be bullied. We'll just have to see. Other than that, yeah, let's get into this video. So getting behind the scenes a little bit, I'm gonna first show you guys the kind of camera that I use. Basically, it is a Nikon Coolpix L830. Now, disclaimer, I don't do a whole lot with this camera other than like this kind of YouTube stuff and some casual photography, but the only real limitation that I found with this camera is when I try to do really up-close video shots of my fish tanks, it's always really blurry and I just can't get it to focus. I think the lens is wrong. So any of the cool videos that you see of my fish that are like really up close and you can really see the detail in the fish, those are all just done with my regular iPhone. I think this is the iPhone X. The way that I take photographs of my fish kind of in motion swimming and get those cool kind of like action shots is I go to the camera obviously on my iPhone, and then I go to the photo option, and then basically if you hold down the camera button, it'll fire a bunch of like rapid fire shots all at once and create a burst. And from that you can go through and select the ones that you like, the ones that are the most in focus, let's say, and you can delete the rest. So that's the way that I found to do the best fish photography. For the fish videos that I do that are really up close, sometimes I'll use the regular video feature on my iPhone, and sometimes I'll scroll over to slow-mo, and this slow-mo camera is what lets me get those like awesome slow motion swimming shots that I just like love so much, especially of Manfred because he has such an amazing tail. But yeah, other than that, I just kind of set my Nikon camera. I set you guys up on an old tripod that is not made for this camera that I just sort of stuck tape on the top so I can get my Nikon Coolpix to sit there. And then because this tripod is not quite tall enough, I have it set up on a old guitar box. So basically it's just floor, guitar box, old tripod that's not made for this, and old camera. And that's my setup, honestly. You guys definitely don't need a ton of cool equipment to have a YouTube channel. Like, obviously, it'd be nice to have cool equipment to have, like, you know, a really high quality, great YouTube channel. But for this, we're fine. The only other kind of behind the scenes thing I guess I would point out is I always have myself facing an open window because I like to have natural light coming in. I find that it just is the best lighting and makes the picture the clearest. I'm sure everybody has their own preferences, and also I'm well aware that most people have a much better setup than me. This is just kind of giving you guys a look at what I have and like what my process looks like as I'm filming these YouTube videos. I don't use any kind of mic, but I am very soft-spoken, and like my voice is not a voice that projects very easily, and so I usually end up going into my movie editor, or iMovie is the editor that I use for all my video clips, and basically I just turn my voice volume up to maybe like 200%. Even then it's still kind of quiet, but it's definitely better than the original audio that I'm getting just from my Nikon camera. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The only one out here with me all the time is Minnie, my chihuahua. You guys know, my little co-host. She goes everywhere with me. She's my best friend. She literally goes everywhere with me. You guys know this. She's the best. You're the best. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I definitely take a lot of takes, you guys know this, and I might talk a little bit more about my editing process later, but for now I think we should go and just look at what it looks like when I'm actually having my other setup where I'm filming my fish tanks and my actual fish. As soon as I finished filming that clip, I actually ran into this little unexpected visitor. And we don't hate snakes around here or anything, but we definitely don't want them in the house, so we put him in this safe little bucket and relocated him so he could go live a natural, happy snake life. Alright, so this is what my setup looks like. I make a huge mess everywhere, as you can see. I have adjustable legs on my old little tripod, and I kind of lower it down so that my Nikon can be more fish tank height. Behind it is the stand and light that was gifted to me that is absolutely gigantic and pretty awesome. You'll have to excuse me, I don't really know that much about lights. I know this kind of covering is meant to diffuse the light so it's not quite so harsh. But that is kind of the extent of my knowledge. It does make a big difference, as you can see. I usually use it when I do water change videos because I don't have my tank lights on, obviously, during that, so it really helps the viewer be able to see. So I put down a towel in case I have any kind of water spillage, and I have all my water change equipment ready. As you can see, there's a little bit of light reflection in Manfred's tank, but I'm not filming his tank, so I put the light up that high so that I don't have the reflection down in Pi's tank. At this point, I remember that I'm supposed to be shooting before footage so I can have a comparison of before and after, so this is where I get really up close and show all the nasty green algae just growing everywhere. Again, not unhealthy for my fish tank, but definitely not as aesthetically pleasing as I wish it was. It really makes the glass look dirty, and it's not so easy to see my fish. There's also a little bit of algae growing on his fern plants, which, as you can see, is the same algae that got super out of control in Manfred's tank. Manfred actually loves this algae. He spends all day like eating it and pulling it off and playing with it, so I haven't got rid of the algae, but eventually I probably will because it's not very attractive. So first thing I do, of course, is cut power to the tank because I don't want to get electrocuted, and then I take off my lid and things like that, and then I kind of just stir up the substrate and make sure that I can just get really clean and get all that built up detritus and stuff out of the rocks. At this point, I usually go through and decide what plants need to go and are just broken off pieces and what plants are actual baby plants that are just coming off the mother plants. I also take out and squeeze out my sponge filter pieces because, as you guys know, I've switched to sponge filters a while back, so I don't have to buy filter cartridges all the time. And then I take the scraper that is the cheapest scraper that came for free with some Walmart aquarium kit, but it works so well and it really lets me get in there and scrape off the glass, and I usually follow it with just a paper towel or something to try and get all the algae actually out of the tank. Then I keep my broken plants on a little paper towel, and the plants that are going to go back in the tank I go over really closely and try to get all the algae off of them. Then I start bucketing in my new water. There's probably an easier way to do this, but I've been doing it this way for a long time and I don't really mind. So yeah, that's pretty much all I do to do a deep clean of my fish tank. After all of that, I get the pleasure of filming this nice after footage of Pi and his tank. After that, we move on to the longest phase of the process, the editing. As I mentioned before, I use iMovie and I just import and drag down all my video clips. The hardest to edit by far are these giant intro clips of me talking because obviously I mess up a lot and I have to kind of cut all the clips that I'm going to use and make sure that they sound okay together, and then I usually take all the rest and throw them in the back in kind of like a little blooper reel. I also have the option to bring in all the title screens, and that's where I choose all my royalty-free audio and I drag that down into separate tracks as well. And I also use transitions like fade to black pretty frequently. This is also the part where I record all my voiceover tracks using this blue snowball microphone that I was gifted that I found works really well. And then I am finally done. Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoyed this video today. It was a little bit different, but I kind of enjoyed stepping back and kind of letting you guys more behind the curtains. I do film these outros at the same time that I view the intros, obviously, that's why I'm in the same place, which is a little weird because sometimes I have to talk about a video that I haven't seen yet. But for continuity's sake, I always found this was the easiest way to like get my outro and intro done at the same time. So yeah, if you guys would like to see more of me and all my wonderful animals, Please feel free to follow me over on Instagram at fun_fishology. Don't forget to subscribe here so you can follow me on my fish keeping journey, and to like this video and drop me a comment if you would like to. And also hit that bell so that you know when I upload. I had a wonderful time, as always, anytime I get to sit down and talk to you guys. I appreciate you being with me. I love you guys so, so much, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye, guys! What? Ugh. Basically, on the docket, who says docket anymore? And the only other thing, get comments about it sometime. What? Stop saying sometime. Sometimes. Is my camera crooked? It totally is. This is a mess today. Like, I'm having a rough time. This is because of a bullying issue, because my bigger goldfish okay. So basically, it's just floor, guitar pox. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay. If you want behind the scenes, this is the real diva. You're so cute. Bye, guys.